Inside the house, when Oscar saw a woman washing the dishes, he could not control himself. He walked up to her and kissed her. Just before she completely gave in to him, she heard her husband's voice outside. She quickly rushed away. At that moment, her husband arrived, but he had not seen what was happening between them. The story begins a few days earlier, inside a train where two boys are sitting. One of them is named Oscar and the other Tom. Oscar is returning home with his friend to spend the holidays. During the trip, a beautiful girl named Emma approaches him and sits beside him. She wants to talk to him and even go on a date, but Oscar shows absolutely no interest in her. On the other hand, his friend Tom thinks differently. He wants to talk to Emma, but Emma only wants to talk to Oscar. When Oscar shows no interest, Emma leaves. Tom becomes angry and says to him, "Emma wanted to talk to you. She's obsessed with you, and you didn't even say a word." Oscar then tries to explain, saying, "This is beyond your understanding. All of this is just madness. Love does not exist." In reality, Oscar is attracted to older women. He studies at a boarding school where many girls show interest in him, yet he pays no attention to them. Instead, Oscar is in love with a woman. After getting off the train, they take a taxi and return home, each going their separate way. When Oscar returns home, his father is overjoyed to see him. As soon as he arrives, he learns that his father has remarried. Oscar's mother died a few years earlier, and now his father is married to a woman named Evan. Oscar's father is a university professor, while Evan is a doctor. Although Oscar tries to pretend that everything is fine, deep down he does not feel that way. That night, Oscar's father throws a party to celebrate his son's return. Many guests arrive. His father introduces him to a girl around his age. She is beautiful, but Oscar shows no interest in her at all. He cannot stop looking at his stepmother Evan. The woman Oscar had told his friend about, the woman he loves, is none other than Evan herself. Intelligent, mature, and independent. After Oscar's mother died and his father married Evan, she began taking care of Oscar. During that time, Oscar fell in love with her. Later, he moved to a boarding school, but he never forgot her. What Oscar wants is socially and morally wrong, yet he listens to his heart. He sees beauty in everything Evan does, the way she walks, the way she speaks, and her intelligence. To him, she is the perfect woman, like a character who stepped out of a novel. But Evan has no idea how Oscar feels. Oscar tries to speak openly with her, but she does not understand any of his hints and remains completely unaware of what he is trying to say. At the party, Oscar meets Evan's close friend, Diane. She is a modern, free-spirited woman who believes in living life on her own terms. She works as a massage therapist. She tells Oscar, "If you ever want a massage, let me know." From her tone of voice and body language, it becomes clear that she has started to like Oscar. After the party ends, Oscar's father asks him to take a girl home, the same girl Oscar showed no interest in earlier. Despite her beauty, Oscar's attention is fixed on Evan, and he does not want to go with her. Still, he accompanies her to get a taxi. Along the way, they talk, and the girl tells him she wants to go on a date with him. Oscar replies, "I'm busy with work right now, so I can't go on a date." The girl feels hurt when she hears this, but Oscar only wants to get rid of her. He puts her in a taxi and sends her home. Oscar cannot express his feelings for Evan, and this causes him deep pain. To escape his sadness, he goes to a bar to drink. There, he meets his uncle, a man known for being romantic. His uncle jokes around and advises him to flirt with a girl. Oscar borrows some money from him and uses it to enjoy himself. Even though he feels exhausted afterward, he continues drinking heavily. When Oscar leaves the bar, he is stumbling around completely drunk. At that moment, Diane appears. When she sees Oscar's condition, she realizes that if he returns home like this, his father will become angry, so she decides to take him to her apartment. Oscar is completely worn out. Diane asks him to lie down on the bed, and he does. She tells him, "You need a massage," and asks him to take off his clothes. He agrees and undresses. As Diane begins massaging him, she finds herself increasingly attracted to him. Oscar, under the influence of alcohol, also begins losing control. While she massages him, Diane moves closer. Suddenly, Oscar stands up drunkenly, feeling cold while half naked. Diane gives him some coffee, which helps him feel better, but while drinking it, he spills some on himself. Diane bends down to clean him, and when she sees Oscar shirtless, she cannot resist. The two become extremely close. Diane continues massaging Oscar, making him feel comforted in many ways. The next morning, when Oscar wakes up, he finds Diane sleeping beside him. Panic fills him. What if Diane's husband appears? Without waking her, he quietly puts on his clothes and tries to sneak out. But when he steps outside her room, he sees Diane's husband in the other room. Oscar is terrified, yet Diane's husband assumes Oscar simply came for a massage session. In fact, Oscar is viewed as a good young man by those around him. Just as he is about to leave, Diane walks in and acts as though Oscar only came for a massage. Later, when Oscar returns home, his father asks him, "Where were you last night?" Oscar lies and says he was with a girl from his boarding school. Hearing this, his father apologizes, saying he feels guilty for not being able to spend more time with his son. Soon after, Oscar discovers that Evan has already left for work. Oscar can no longer hide his feelings for her, so he begins searching for an opportunity to talk to her and confess his love. To surprise her, he decides to bring her lunch so they can spend some time alone together. Oscar starts preparing lunch for Evan, and his father is extremely happy to see this. Oscar's father is a simple man who has no idea about his son's true feelings. Oscar then heads to Evan's clinic carrying the lunch. When he arrives, he sees Evan standing with a man who is playing the guitar for her. Oscar freezes in place and drifts into a fantasy. He imagines himself playing the guitar in front of Evan and making her happy. This reveals just how deeply in love he is with her. After snapping out of his daydream, Oscar enters the clinic where Evan works. She is happy to see him and thinks to herself, "Oscar is so sweet." Evan is a hard-working doctor. Oscar starts asking her questions about the heart, asking, "Why is the heart considered a symbol of love?" He keeps speaking in this way. Evan finds Oscar's questions charming and begins believing he is truly a good boy. But soon, she senses that something is unusual. Oscar starts asking questions about reproduction. Before he can say anything else, Evan receives a call from Diane. After the call, Evan tells Oscar, "Tonight, you, your father, and I are going out to dinner, and Diane will join us too." Hearing this, Oscar panics. He fears Diane might tell Evan that they spent the night together. To prevent this, Oscar rushes to Diane's house to speak with her, but she is not there. Instead, he sees her husband. Once again, the man becomes suspicious and asks, "Son, what brings you here so early?" Nervously hiding his face, Oscar says that he wants another massage session from Diane because he feels extremely stressed. Diane's husband immediately tells him that Diane went out to a restaurant with some friends. As soon as Oscar hears this, he rushes to the restaurant without thinking. There, he finds Diane sitting with her friends drinking coffee. Oscar tries to speak to Diane privately and tells her that he is a client who needs to talk to her alone. However, her friends invite him to sit with them and chat. After talking with Oscar, Diane's friends become extremely impressed by him and even start flirting with him. After a while, Diane's friends leave. Oscar then tells Diane, "Forget what happened between us, and don't tell anyone about it, especially Evan." Diane replies, "Don't worry. No one will ever know what happened between us." In truth, she wants the relationship to continue because she has begun to feel that Oscar possesses a depth she has never seen in any of her previous relationships. She feels an emotional connection growing with Oscar and wants to spend more time with him. But Oscar rejects her and pulls away. Now Oscar finds himself trapped in a deep psychological conflict. He wants to distance himself from Diane and confess his feelings to Evan. He goes to his closest friend's house and tells him the truth: the woman he truly loves is Evan. His friend is shocked when he hears this. Oscar also confesses that he slept with Diane while drunk, but now he wants to get rid of her. After hearing everything, his friend tells him that what he did was wrong and that he should forget about Evan. But Oscar refuses to listen. To him, Evan is the perfect woman, and he dreams of staying with her forever. That night, Oscar heads to a family dinner at an elegant restaurant. Diane joins them as well, not by choice, but because she had told Oscar's father that Oscar received a massage from her without paying for it, so they were forced to invite Diane to dinner with them. At the table, everyone starts drinking, but Diane drinks too much and begins flirting with Oscar in French. Oscar is nervous and terrified that their secret might be exposed, but Diane continues speaking in French, a language neither Evan nor her husband understands, so they have no idea what she is saying. Oscar tries to stop Diane from saying such things and from drinking more, but she does not listen. He is deeply afraid that Diane will reveal the truth about their relationship, so he keeps trying to calm her down. Oscar's strange behavior starts becoming noticeable to both his father and Evan. When Diane goes to the restroom, Oscar follows her. He stops her and says, "What you're doing is wrong." But Diane starts kissing him. At that moment, Oscar's father sees them. When they return to the table, his father asks, "Are you hiding something from us?" Diane replies, "We are in love." Oscar's father and Evan are shocked. His father tells them that this relationship is wrong, that there is a huge age difference between them, and that this should never have happened. That night, while Oscar's father is busy working, Evan approaches him and tries to get close to him, but he says, "I have work to do right now," so Evan quietly walks away. Oscar watches all of this from a distance while hiding. The next day, Evan meets with Diane and tries to convince her by saying, "You should never have gotten involved with Oscar. The age difference between you is too great. This is wrong." But Diane responds, "I found Oscar attractive. I truly liked the way he behaved and the way he talked." She adds, "If another woman were in my place, she would have done the same thing. Maybe even you would have." Hearing this, Evan starts believing that Diane has completely lost her mind. Later, Evan and Oscar play tennis together. But during the game, Oscar gets hit in the head with the ball, so they return home. Evan then sits with Oscar and asks, "Why did you get involved with Diane? That was wrong." Oscar says, "I only slept with her once. There's nothing between us. I was drunk, and she was wearing your scarf. It reminded me of you, and I ended up in bed with her." Then Oscar continues, "I love you, Evan." Evan is shocked, but instead of scolding him, she gently explains, "At your age, you don't understand the difference between love and attraction. What you feel is temporary infatuation, something you mistake for love. You still have a lot to learn. With life experience, one day you will understand the meaning of true love." When Evan rejects Oscar's feelings, he does not fall apart. Instead, he begins to understand himself better and realizes that what he felt was closer to a fantasy, an ideal image he had projected onto Evan. Later, when Evan goes to wash the dishes, Oscar quietly follows her into the kitchen. He does not want to stay away from her. He joins her in washing the dishes. Then, in a quiet moment, Oscar looks at Evan, and Evan looks back at him. Oscar steps closer and kisses Evan. But immediately after the kiss, Evan pulls away and walks off. At that moment, Oscar's father enters and says, "You're doing a great job." He has no idea what happened in that room just seconds earlier. That night, while Oscar lies in bed, he starts thinking about Evan. Gradually, he begins distancing himself from Diane. At first, he considered his relationship with Diane a mistake, but later he realizes that not everything in life is under our control. Sometimes even mistakes turn into life lessons. Oscar is emotionally mature for his age, but he has no brother or mentor, no one with whom he can openly share his feelings, no one to guide him. Diane also saw Oscar as a mature man, and that is what led her to become involved in the entire situation. A few days later, Oscar's vacation comes to an end. His father and Evan accompany him to the train station. While his father goes to buy the tickets, Oscar apologizes to Evan and admits that he got carried away by his emotions. Then he boards the train and sits with his friend. There, he meets the same girl who showed interest in him at the beginning of the story. "Thank you, Oscar," she says, then quotes Voltaire, "If we cannot get something good, then at least we will get something new." Oscar looks at her with a warm smile. He has finally learned how to connect with people his own age. His friend then asks, "And what about Evan?" Oscar replies, "My obsession with Evan is no longer as important as I once thought." As the train moves forward, Oscar smiles softly. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed the movie, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you never miss any new content we upload.